What are the scientific challenges in explaining the Shroud of Turin image? What are the scientific challenges in explaining the Shroud of Turin image? This fascinating artifact has intrigued many for centuries, especially among those who view it as a sacred relic. The Shroud of Turin is a linen cloth that bears the faint image of a man who appears to have suffered trauma consistent with crucifixion. Many believe it to be the burial cloth of Jesus Christ, making it a significant site for pilgrims and historians alike. However, understanding how the image was formed poses several scientific challenges. One of the most striking features of the shroud is that its image appears as a photographic negative. This property was only recognized after the invention of photography in the late 19th century. The image is not painted or drawn but is formed by subtle discoloration of the linen fibers. In 1970, the Shroud of Turin research project conducted scientific analysis that confirmed the image was not created by pigments, dyes, scorching, or brushstrokes. This rules out many traditional artistic methods. A major challenge is understanding how the discoloration occurred only on the outermost layers of the linen fibers, which is about 2% of the fiber's radius. This superficial discoloration is unlike any known natural or artificial process for creating images on cloth. Additionally, the image encodes three-dimensional information about the body's shape, which is unusual for typical paintings or prints. Several theories have been proposed to explain how the image was formed. One theory suggests that an extremely brief and intense burst of radiation could have caused the discoloration. This hypothesis aims to account for the image formation, the peculiar features of the blood stains, and anomalies in carbon dating results. However, no known natural source or process has been identified that could produce such radiation in the historical context of the shroud. Another theory involves vacuum ultraviolet radiation. This idea has been tested experimentally and offers some insights, but it still does not fully explain all the characteristics of the image. There are also concerns regarding contamination affecting radiocarbon dating samples. The tests conducted in 1988 dated the shroud to the medieval period, specifically between the years of 1260 and 1390. Some researchers argue that contamination or issues with sample selection may have skewed these results, suggesting that the cloth could be older. Additional scientific challenges include the preservation state of the linen fibers and the degradation patterns observed. These suggest an age possibly older than the medieval period, which conflicts with some radiocarbon dating results. The blood stains on the shroud also exhibit unusual properties that are difficult to replicate or explain through known biological or chemical processes. From the perspective of sacred sites and pilgrimages, the Shroud of Turin represents a powerful symbol that blends faith, historical tradition, and mystery. The unresolved scientific questions surrounding the shroud contribute to its aura and significance, drawing pilgrims who seek a tangible connection to the past and to sacred narratives. The shroud continues to inspire research and debate, making it a focal point for both religious devotion and scholarly inquiry. The scientific challenges in explaining the Shroud of Turin image include the unexplained nature of the image formation mechanism, the superficial fiber discoloration, the three-dimensional encoding of the image, discrepancies in radiocarbon dating, and the unusual characteristics of the blood stains.